Silksong's finally here after half a decade of waiting, but was it actually worth it? In this video, we'll go over the first gameplay and impressions of the starter area and some of the bosses, some of the cool new mechanics, and if the game's better than previous Hollow Knight, and things that you should know as a new player hopping in. As for spoilers, we'll only be focusing on the first few hours of gameplay, so just like the first 4 areas and a couple of boss fights, nothing too crazy. If you don't want it spoiled, you always like this video and come back later after you play it yourself. But with that, let's hop in. Is Silksong actually worth it? What do we like? What do we dislike? Let's get to it. Steam literally stopped working because the hype for this game was so much. Over 1 million people playing it right now, 500,000 on Steam alone. So we were 2 hours late to the party, but that's where our story begins. Oh, we're about to play! We're finally about to play! It's been 2 hours! Yo! Alright, so the controls are literally the same right now. Oh, we don't have anything! Hey, Moss Grotto. Ooh, it's the first time, baby. One of the biggest gameplay changes of this game is the pogo system. All your pogos go on a diagonal, and then you have to angle them perfectly to hit your enemies. Like, the dash is cool, but I kind of miss the straight down pogo, you know? It does feel good when you hit it, but it feels really bad when you don't, and there's a lot of parkour that I'll show later on that is very, very punishing. So right off the rip, just based off the pogoing, this game's going to be way harder than Hollow Knight in just general movement and other things that as you unlock abilities, it does get better. Ooh. Oh, dude. So not being able to pogo straight down definitely is rough sometimes on those small platforms. Another big fundamental change is your soul meter. It's no longer souls, it's actually called silk. You still get it from damaging enemies and doing work like that. However, the big thing is you can't use it until it's fully full, and when you do, you're gonna get 3 hearts back instead of 1. But this means you also can't use it halfway, especially in this early game, so it can be a little bit punishing if you don't go in with saved up souls when a fight starts. Another interesting thing to note is you now have a different currency. Instead of geo, you're actually getting these things called beads, these little red beads, and when you collect them, you can also get these rosary strings, which will help hold on to your beads when you die and other things, which is a cool feature, or you can break them to cash in that money. Frayed rosary string. Beyond that as well, there's also shards that you get from killing most of these enemies, those little shiny things I'm picking up, which you use for crafting and other things down the line, but I'm not going to really talk about that in this video. It's interesting that you get these like little shardy things now. They don't stand out as much as the other stuff. Another cool thing to note is these benches. As you know, benches are where you respawn at, and in this game, there are way more benches across the board, 100 plus confirmed by the dev. So does that mean there's way more bosses, or there's just a lot more places to rest, so there's a lot less traveling? I think it's probably gonna be a mixture of both, but so far, I'm finding like 2, 3, 4, 5 benches in every single area, which does feel pretty good and quite useful. Hey, yo, this is a boss fight already? Okay, Moss Mother. Okay, so what, you like my... Ooh. Okay, you can only go from the side, though. Oh, dude, pogoing is honestly way harder now. I'm gonna be honest. Because you can't just attack straight down. You gotta do an angle. So you gotta, like, figure out a way to, like, pogo. And then pogo again. Like that. But I messed it up. Like, I think it's a really cool feature. I don't know if I like it as much, though, yet. Not being able to pogo straight down is so funky. Like, look at that. Ooh, see, like, that is super satisfying. When you can get that pogo left, right, oh, that feels good. In terms of the shop, it works very similar to the previous, but it is definitely a little bit different. Now you have tool slots where you can slide in tools, just like you also had charm slots as well, and like an ability slot. And then beyond that, there's also like craftable items you can buy that you need to craft and get other items to find someone who can actually make stuff for you. There is some like cool little stuff though, like throwing daggers and other things, which we might touch on a little bit later. Obviously, you guys saw that first boss fight. It wasn't too bad, but one thing you'll notice is normal enemies and some of the bosses very early on will hit you for 2 hearts instead of 1, which can be very jarring this early in the game. I do like it because it does increase that difficulty, but again, all these new things that we're discovering, it is pointing to the fact that this game is going to be more difficult than Hollow Knight in most areas. Just look at this reaction. Whoa! Whoa! Brother! That's so unfortunate that that just pops out like that. Wow. Dude, we lost 4 hearts in 2 hits there. I did not think that skull was gonna come alive like that. Dang. Oh, dope. So instead of a shadow, I have like a cocooned web to get all my stuff back. I really love this feature. Being able to hit the cocoon one time to get your stuff back is so much better than having to hit your soul like 3 different times to get it back like you did in Hollow Knight. One thing to note as well, you does seem like you are going to be keeping your shards in your little backpack, all 400. That's the maximum capacity for the starter backpack. But you will lose your beads if you die twice, just like in Hollow Knight when you lose your Geo. Oh! We also have a brand new map person that sings instead of hums, and I'll just show you that now. Whoa! What's up, dude? Ashna, edges sharp and senses keen. I am a navigator amongst my tribe and have been making maps of these lands. I could trade them with you and supplies if you wish. Oh, sick! So this is our new cornifer. They sing instead of hum. I will say I like the humming more. But hey, I'll take it. At least we got maps now. This is fire. Ooh, and then we got all kinds. Oh, compass. We really want a compass. Track your location throughout. What does a quill do? With this quill, you can add any new area you discover to the maps that you own. That's dope, though, dude. So yeah, make sure you're like exploring everything, gamers. Because like, I'd be very sad if I did not have enough of the beads to trade with her for those maps. Now we got Bone Bottom and we got the Marrow. However, I think we got to go sit on a bench to actually update all the stuff we found. Benches are important, but the reason it's not filled in is because I did not purchase the quill there. So make sure you buy the quill and the compass as early as possible so you know exactly where you are and what places you've already been, just like in the old Hollow Knight. Bro, these guys are weird. It's like a snail, dude. Freaking. Oh, they actually give me beads. All the other enemies have not been giving me beads. They've just been giving me shards. That's so unfortunate, chat. Whoa! Okay. Okay. First death in a long time. I was not expecting. Everything jumps at you in that biome. It's not a hard biome. But man, you gotta be careful, dude. There's a lot of stuff that has like strange attack patterns and they'll grab you by the cheeks. There's my dead body. Nice. Bro be moaning. Definitely when you compare this game to Hollow Knight, a lot of the starter enemies are definitely more difficult. They got range attacks, close range attacks, and you just gotta get used to it. They're not too hard, but when you're going into it and you don't know what they do yet, they definitely can get you. I died way more in this game than I did in my first playthrough of Hollow Knight. Also upcoming here is going to be a boss fight against the Bell guy. It's a really cool boss fight, the second one in the game, but if you don't like that, you can always skip ahead for no spoilers. Bells. There we go. Oh, I freed him. And I guess he's not a cool guy. I just saw that we do have the throwing needle. If you want to break these webs there, you have to throw it. If you just try to break it, a lot of times they'll replenish. So that's something to keep in mind. And we got that off camera at the start of the game. Oh! This guy be hopping all over the place, bro. I'm trying to, like, not to get hit by him. Ah, only gained him one time with that. Whoa! I did not expect those bells to do damage. Oh, what? 2 damage? It's not very cool. Oh my god, bells are everywhere, dude. Bro, he needs to die already, bruh. Dude, I was trying to heal! Oh! Chat, we could have beat that first try. It's so unfortunate that he spawned, like, right there. This boss was by no means super difficult, but the bells doing 2 damage definitely made things interesting. And of course, we choked on the first try, but we came back with that newfound knowledge and we were able to clap him up pretty quick. And that leads us to the next interesting thing about this game is there are silk hearts that you get, which we got a little bit after that boss fight. And essentially, they will generate silk slowly over time automatically. And also give you more silk when you're hitting enemies. You can collect more of them to get a bigger silk pool, which is a very nice feature. Silk threads naturally produce... Oh, so we got an extra silk heart. Okay. So silk hearts will automatically regenerate some silk. Attack enemies to replenish silk. Okay, so the more hearts we have, the more silk we'll get. That's awesome. Another notable change with this game is they're no longer little green grubs that you collect. They're these little orange fluffy friends, and they're basically the exact same thing, so collect them whenever you spot them if you can. What the heck are you? Whoa! What's up, buddy? Oh, so I guess that's kind of like the green guys in this game, little fluffy orange thingies. Cool. There's definitely a lot more movement as the game progresses, but one thing I want to touch on is this parkour here. It's very interesting because unlike the bouncy balls of the old Hollow Knight, you can't interact with them unless you're actually striking them, and here's what that looks like. Ooh, interesting. You got little bouncy things. Wait. Okay, you only... Whoa! So it's a lot like the purple bouncies in Hollow Knight, but like you can't stand on them at all unless you hit them. That's such an interesting feature. That is very satisfying. Dude, skill expression and speed running is gonna go so crazy in this game, bro. I'm gonna give you a little sneak peek in the next area without really spoiling anything. It's just gonna be parkour in the background as I go over whether or not this game is worth it. Is Silksong actually worth it? The simple answer, yes, 100%. It's only $20. You're gonna get over 100 plus hours of content, and this game probably has more content than Hollow Knight given how many benches are actually in the game. Now, in terms of difficulty, this game's definitely harder than Hollow Knight in basically every aspect. The monsters are harder, the bosses, the simple monsters, there is more variety, and the early game is definitely more punishing than the previous Hollow Knight. Pogoing is super satisfying and incredibly cool when you pull it off, but it's also very punishing if you mess up the zigzags. You're going to be cooked, especially with a lot of the parkour coming up that I'm not going to fully show on screen, so don't worry about spoilers. The boss fights are really cool. They're also quite difficult, and they will take some getting used to, so keep that in mind as well. But my suggestion is approach this game very similar to how you did Hollow Knight, but be even more cautious because this game is definitely more difficult. Everything you saw here was recorded live on my Twitch at Andy Slaps. Comment your thoughts down below on what you want to see next, and I'll see you guys in the next video.